Welcome to Studio Muck.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
On the occasion of 55 years.
It's hard to believe.
And as I mentioned downstairs, Mac. Mac. You kind of like that though, right? Anyway, Muck, Richard, and Mac.
Yeah, we're all here.
No bourbon for you.
No bourbon for you.
Okay, here. We got to do this. Why don't you come over here, buddy? I love you so much. There you go. Just sit right there. Anyway, first, I just wanted to maybe thank Sharon Swan for keeping in touch with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
It takes someone like her, because otherwise, everybody just drifts off.
Yeah. And she's a busy girl. She's got a cool husband, takes her kayaking and shit. Mac, you are really a trip. I don't know about
maybe I should get a husband. Take me kayaking. What do you think, Mac? All right.
All right. I might have to go to get a treat.
Ooh.
Look at his ears. Look at his ears. Look at his ears. You want a treat, bud?
A treat?
Come on. God.
Oh, yeah.
So
it is hard to believe. 55 years. I mean, where the hell's the time go?
Well, that's the thing. And now when people say, something's happened in the 4 years, I'm going, oh, yeah, I can, that's a burp. My cousin Stephanie said, Mark, life is this long, we got this much left.
Yeah. I know. It just seems to... I don't remember the last class reunion that I went to. It was a long time ago.
I went to the 10th. Pretty sure I went to the 20th, and I went to the 30th.
Okay.
But the 40th and the 50th. 40th, I think I was in California.
Yeah, I don't remember doing the 40th. It might have been the 30th was the last one.
The 50th I would like to have gone to. It would have been cool to see everybody, but, it's, maybe for the 60th we could have a destination, like a national park or something,
That'd be cool.
That's walker accessible.
So it'd be you and me and two other people.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I talk to Gritty, every now and then. He and I stay in touch. So he kind of keeps me informed. But, the old crew is still going strong. Bibbs is doing good. And he's doing good,
I talked to Mark Helmer about 2 or 3 days ago, and he spends some time. He's way up by the Canadian border in a place called Brazier Falls. And he goes, they got 4 inches of snow 2 days ago. It was 72 here, and he had snow.
Yeah.
He goes cross-country skiing all the time, but he stays in touch with Steve Rowley. He says he's doing really well, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I don't, I was kind of a loner in high school. I didn't really have a lot of friends, so I knew a lot of people, acquaintance-wise, but living out in the country.
That's the thing. You after school was over, you didn't have contact with anybody.
No, I got on the bus, and because I lived at 4 Mile Point, which was halfway between Athens and Coxsackie, and so that was it. There wasn't any problems.
Did you finish that treat already?
Wow.
Try to keep him sitting.
Okay,
if you put your hand on his rump like that, you'll do it. You sit down. Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy. Uh-oh. No, just chill. I don't know, Mac.
You got a girlfriend or a mother you could introduce me to?
No, we had him fixed about 6 weeks ago. Hey, come here, buddy. Come here.
Yeah, so, that was the problem. I remember growing up, if I ever wanted to hang around with people, I'd have to take my Huffy bike and ride it from 4 Mile Point into Coxsackie, mostly.
Yeah.
Or I'd ride it into Athens, mostly to Coxsackie, because that seemed to be where guys, even Gritty and Bibbs, we'd go to the park.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the park, but
it was called the Athletic Field. Now it's McQuaid Park.
Okay. Yeah, we'd go there and play home run derby, and I'd go down to the candy store. And
I remember that's how you broke your wrist. You were riding your bike on Van Dyke Street, and you broke your wrist. It was your left wrist.
I broke my wrist playing football. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Some guy. We were playing. We used to.
Mac, you're really being a drag.
And we were playing on this field down. I I don't know, I can't remember exactly, but there was a big rock in it, and I got tackled, and my arm was on the rock, and someone jumped on me and snapped my arm. It was close to downtown Coxsackie, because they dragged my butt over to there was apparently a doctor.
Dr. McQuillan.
Yeah, downtown. So, yeah, my mom wasn't too happy about that. So they sent me so the guy said, it was a compound fracture or something. So he says, you're going to have this, send you to the hospital to get it set. So they sent me down to which my parents used to call a butcher shop.
Yeah, green,
whatever it was, Catskill Hospital
where
at the
we
time.
were born.
Yeah. I was born in the Bronx. And they used to call my father Anthony. Anthony, because that was...
Well, that's what they call Squeegee.
Yeah.
Anthony, yo, Anthony.
Yeah. So I was born there, and my mom decided I guess I was about 2 years old, from what I understand, and that she didn't... This is weird, because I think she left my father in the city, and she moved up because that's where her parents were. So she dragged me and Diane. So I was raised obviously in the country, but my dad eventually, I regret not, because that generation didn't talk. You couldn't drag stuff out of him, but because you could notice I'm Italian because my hands are.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. My wife's that way, and she's Irish.
So anyway. That's where I grew up in the country. That's where, it's out in
I think we had the best of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. I love being in the woods. I mean, I'll tell you what, the one thing that it did for me is it made me self-sufficient. Because I didn't have, there was a neighbor next door.
You had to create your own everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, it's not like I see these memes all the time, about, don't you remember... So your social media is when all your friends had bikes, right? And you were all this high, and I never had any of that. But that's okay. It's just the way it was.
You had the swamp.
I had the swamp.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to go down there all the time.
I had the woods in my BB gun.
I love going down there. And my neighbor's dog was named Foxy. He was his dog, but he was my dog. I just yelled.
What kind of dog was
he? He looked like he was some kind of German Shepherd mix.
Wow.
He looked like a fox in a sense, I thought he was part wolf.
Ears like Mac, probably.
Yeah. Big dog, though. And he and I used to spend hours.
Well, dogs really rock.
Yeah.
They really do.
He'd go down, I'd call his name, and he'd come running from my neighbor's yard. Paul's Bar and Grill. Remember?
Yes, Paul Pedalass.
Is that
yeah? Yes.
Yeah. That was quite a joint. My father used to send me in there to buy cigarettes. He was not a drinker, but he was a camel smoker. So when he when he ran out of cigarettes, he got Paul in gear. And he had this. My mother used to say it was a whorehouse. It might have been.
What kind of... Not a really good location.
No.
Not really good.
Well, you could hide the cars pretty well in case you wanted to visit, But,
yeah. Oh, that's a riot.
Yeah, no, maybe I don't remember any of that, but she says when it first started out, but it was a typical bar. You walk in there, it smelled like beer.
Oh yeah, I remember the place.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it burned down or fell down or something.
I remember I was hitchhiking home from Catskill once, and it was a major snowstorm. I had to walk from Catskill to my house.
Yikes!
And I'm going up 385 like fucking Yuri Shivago,
Yeah.
And the snow's up to here, and I get to that place, and the lights were on. And I thought, I'll go in there, maybe I can call, maybe they'll let me sleep on the floor, and I can go out tomorrow. And just as I get there, the lights go out.
Oh.
And my mom, to her credit, so then I walked the rest of the way to Coxsackie. That's like a 12-mile hike in the snow, and I was wearing loafers, right?
Yeah.
My mom came down, and she was like furious. My dad had died, and she just looked at me like, didn't say a word, didn't have to.
She was glad you were home, really.
I think she was glad I was home, but that was a Dr. Shivago moment. But I remember that place,
Yeah. I don't know. You remember the snowstorms? We used to get some pretty bad snowstorms up there. Yeah. I used to hitchhike whenever I needed to
Me
go.
too. Yeah.
Back then, people would pick you up.
Yes.
Unless it was a blizzard, but now they would pick you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. That's get back and forth. So it was. So that's how I got to hang out with people. Is I used to usually hitchhike because riding a bike was a bear. Up the hill, down the hill, up the hill. So it was a pain in the ass.
That was a drag.
Yeah.
That was a drag.
And
That's
they-
how I got away. Like you can hear the dog crying out there. I'm
Yep.
so sorry.
He's-
I'll take care of you later on. I took him for a really good walk. We can go right along the river here.
Really?
Yeah, we put like right down the Harpeth River is like 400 meters down that way.
Is that right?
Yeah, and so we walk. Like, he and I do like between 2 and 4 miles a day. You know, and he
Good
puts
for
up
you.
deer and stuff, and it's really really nice.
I bet she loves that.
Yeah, and I got a magnet to go magnet fishing. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of that.
Yeah, and when the river's low and a little bit warmer, I'm going to see if I can drag a taillight from a 36 Ford or some shit. You know? Do you ever have memories that are really, really vivid?
Not young memory. Not. I remember. The only thing I really remember is the music teacher.
Mr. Nielsen?
Yeah, I remember him being in that class.
Yeah.
That was what, 7th or 8th grade.
Yes,
I,
both.
I remember that.
He was kind of an asshole.
He was. Yeah.
But I remember the first day of 7th grade, Jeannie Stearns. I can see her right now. She had her hair pulled back, and she had on a brown and white dress that kind of flared out a little bit, and she was so happy and so excited. And we all have our schedules, and we're looking like door 1 of 15, 1 or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And remember Mr. Rose, speaking of assholes?
Uh-huh.
He was in the hallway going, "Where do I go now? Where do I go now?" It's like, fucking... It should be okay to knock teachers out once in a while,
You would think so.
you know?
Yeah.
Except for the good ones,
Yeah.
like Ruben Garcia.
Ruben Garcia.
If you guys haven't got this, get this. His daughter wrote it. It's about him.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's Ruben. And I remember another thing with Ruben Garcia. We were doing Macbeth, and we were juniors. And Ruben knew who to call on for emotion, right?
Really?
So there's a scene where Lady Macbeth doesn't want to be human anymore. She wants to be like a vapor or something like that. And of course we hadn't read the book, and Ruben saying, "You be this, you be this." "Susan, you read this part," says Hyman.
Oh, yeah.
And part of it where Lady Macbeth goes, "Unsex me here," right? And like Susan, like she handles it better than freaking pick one. Meryl Streep, you know, she did like a really super good job.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I passed up my chance when I vomited in the Cure's hedge. We had a graduation party
At Kira's house.
at Cure's
Yes,
house.
I was there.
And I was making out with her. And
And you puked?
I got sick.
Oh, no.
Threw up in the hedges, and you know that kind of killed the mood.
Yeah, it's like tough to go back to, a little, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I did a play with him, with Garcia. It was written by somebody. I played a minister of all things.
And you are a minister, by the way.
I am.
Oh, wow.
I was.
All right, back to the play. We'll get back to the minister.
So I played a minister, and it was written by someone in the high school.
CA?
CA, yeah. And we did this play. It was like, you know, set in the 1600s or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but he wrote in my yearbook, which I lost in a flood, unfortunately. You're a budding thespian, which I didn't know what that meant at the time.
Yeah.
But it was interesting, you know, and we did this play, and can't remember the name of it, but it was about, I remember we had a bed with a bungling board.
Oh, God, yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, because of the...
You can't go on the other side of it.
Right. Because, you know, they didn't have
It's like
hotels.
growing up Catholic. Yeah.
And they used to sometimes wrap the women up,
Yes.
right?
And sew them up. Yeah. What the fuck?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. That went out the window, thank God. Speaking of books and speaking about ministry.
Yeah.
Shameless Commerce right here.
There it is, Breath of God.
Breath of God, written by Richard A. Ingui.
Ingui. It's about it's a study of the Holy Spirit. It's really just all about Scripture. Yeah, I was a minister for 14 years and had a church. And
Neil Irwin was too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Who knew?
Really?
Yeah, who knew? You know, I just...
So how was there like a huge moment?
It was, my first wife was Hawaiian. And because I was single up until I was about 26, 28, someplace in there. I was working in Connecticut at the time for Pratt & Whitney Aircraft.
Mm-hmm. Also an aeronautical, I can't pronounce it,
yeah.
He is it, aeronautical engineer.
Yes, in there I was an aerodynamicist. We were designing the blading in the gas turbines.
Okay, to get the most result out of it.
Yep. Trying to make it efficient. So anyway, I'm working there and playing softball on my rec time, and one of the guys I played softball with asked me, "Hey, you want to help me coach the women's team?" Well, sure. What the hell?
Yeah. Okay.
Why not?
Yeah.
So that's where I met.
You didn't throw up on any girls on that team, did you?
No. Well, I don't recall. We used to go to the bars and do tequila shots, so anything was possible at that point. But yeah, we would. Hell, it was. So anyway, I met this Hawaiian woman there, and ended up getting married. And anyway, so we moved back to Coxsackie, and
you moved from Connecticut back to Coxsackie?
Yeah.
What year was that?
It had to be had to be 74, 75.
Oh wow, that's when my son was born.
Something like that, because I had gotten a job with a company in Latham. At the time, it was called Turbonetics.
Okay.
And so we moved back here. Anyway, the marriage kind of fell apart.
You do that.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
So my best friend, because I have a tendency to break bones. He was playing softball, busted my leg playing softball.
Muck.
Yeah, my right leg, and my left leg. It was my left leg, and I had a standard Mustang, standard shift. And with the big cast on my leg, it was no way I was going to be able to pop the clutch and all that nonsense. So anyway, my good friend, he would take me back and forth to work. But anyway, he was dating. So we separated. Was going through a divorce with this Hawaiian lady, and he would kind of comfort me and bring this other woman with him. Nancy.
Right. So that's what brought you into the fold.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because she, so I started. She broke up with him. And I started dating her, and she invited me to this church. It was just like a community church,
And you liked it.
I went, and I couldn't stop crying.
Wow.
I just
That
started
happened to me yesterday
weeping.
when I called the Ukraine consulate. That happened to me yesterday. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, I started weeping, and over a period of time, I just gave myself to Jesus, and I was, did a lot of stuff, and then at some point in my life, I just thought I did a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Had open visions. God would give me instructions to do things. I opened up a kiosk in Crossgates Mall, which was it was called Crosswords. We were selling books, Christian books, radio or music, all kinds of Christian-oriented stuff. So anyway, I started the church, and it went on for about 14 years, and then.
That's freaking amazing. That is really amazing, and I'm really glad you did it because, like me, you had the whole Catholic upbringing, which
I did.
That's what taught me about hypocrisy, actually.
Yeah.
I
was not a fan.
No.
I was not a
Yeah,
fan.
we got a confession. Did I tell you about going to confession with, and I'm going to bleep his name out, right?
Yeah.
Did I tell you this
No,
story?
I don't think so.
We're going to confession on Saturday night, and it was always the same thing. Yeah, I was disobeyed my mother. I was mean to my sister. I didn't bother to mention I masturbated 11,000 times, because like I'm going to tell that to fucking father. So like it was always the same deal. It was like 3 Hail Marys and you're out the door, right?
Right.
But we're on our way up, and it was Father Kelly. Do you remember?
Yes,
him?
I do.
Hearing. It was like really like, oh shit, I don't want to go. It was just walk in the sun. What are you worried about? Don't worry about it. So he goes, yeah. So I said, what was that? He goes, oh, no, nothing. So I'm in the back, and it's me and all of the old biddies that already had gone to confession, but they want to listen.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I'm waiting. All of a sudden, I hear Father Kelly go, "You touched her where?" He gave him the whole fucking rosary.
Did he really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Oh God, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to cut everything out of
That's hysterical. Because this son of a bitch is.
Everybody should read this book.
Hmm.
You're into it now, right?
I'm had it. I haven't started.
Okay, and read this book, and also read this one first. Profiles in Courage. Jack Kennedy wrote about some really cool fucking Americans throughout our history that did really amazing things. This book came out when we were in 8th grade or some shit, and I just read it like last year. It's amazing. And after you read Profiles in Courage, read Profiles in Corruption. All right? All right. On a nicer note, Lifespan. You got to read this, Richard. This is up your alley. It's very technical, and if you want to age as gracefully as we possibly can, boost your, it's called NAD, if you ask me to pronounce it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And then, when you're done reading all of those, this M. Muck McQuillan guy wrote a couple novels. Fucking read them.
They're excellent.
All right?
They're
And
excellent.
if you can't afford them, I'll send you one.
They're excellent, by the way.
Are they?
It's well read. I mean, it's well written.
I'll sit down and I'll write something and I'll go, and then I'll look at it the next day and I say, okay, and then I fix it,
Uh-huh.
And then I go, oh, fuck that. And so now I'm thinking about where it's going to go, and then the next day I look at it and I read what I had written, and holy shit.
Mm.
And like this book, the other day I just like opened it and I'm going, fuck, I wrote that? It's like, it's actually a good book.
It is. I mean, the Round Bend is really well written. I really.
There's a lot in Round Bend.
Yeah.
And
It's really what.
we go
it's
through
entertaining. You enjoy reading it.
when you learn, you read a lot about you read into a lot of people that you work with and you interact with on all different levels.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are angelic, some people are fucking satanic, and everything in between.
Yeah.
And so I can get little pieces of this person and that person and that person, and that's a character.
That's cool.
And then I remember names. I had a teaching assistant at Northeastern University. His name was R. L. Ilya. And he talked about the importance of naming characters.
Uh-huh.
And for his example, he used Billy Budd. I mean, what a nice fucking name. Billy Budd got fucking screwed in that novel, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and so like, Rhonda Nixon, you don't even get me started on Richard Nixon. But Rhonda Nixon is named Rhonda Nixon in Round Bend because of what I learned from R.L. Ilya.
You don't know who you influence, especially as a teacher.
Yes.
Right? You don't have any idea.
Yeah, but like, that was like, there was like 1,000 kids in that class.
Mm.
It was
And
like,
probably 99 of them, 990 of them didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Because they had to take it.
yeah, and it was, and you know why I liked it? Because Ruben Garcia taught me how to really fucking read.
That's interesting.
DeMille Robin was a thick-set lout. He's talking about DeMille in Canterbury Tales, and I can see Ruben doing this now. He says, can't you, he's kneading the bread and he's got this open sore in his leg and he's scratching it and then and I'm thinking, damn, you know, and that was the moment I learned how to really read.
Wow.
Ruben Garcia.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't remember that.
See, my senior year, I worked 40 hours a week at Rex's gas station. I worked all day Sunday, all day Saturday, and then Monday through Friday from 5 to 9. So I didn't do shit at school.
Yeah.
From my senior year, but I had a motorcycle and a girlfriend. So
that's the important stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I had worked for the post office. O'Grady got me a job in West Coxsackie my senior year. I would go in at 6 o'clock in the morning before classes. I'd take my father's big Chrysler and fly up there and be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. And the mail would come in, and then we'd have to sort it, and then I would put it in the boxes.
That's cool as heck.
I did that my senior year.
O'Grady.
Yeah.
I have an O'Grady story for you.
Yeah.
My father died.
Mm.
I was a fucking wreck. I still am.
Mm.
I talk to him every day.
Mm.
So, the teachers probably said, yo, Jack, we got this fucking zombie in class, you know? You might want to fucking talk to him, you know? So Mr. O'Grady calls me into the guidance counselor's office. I was like 15, right?
Yeah.
Marky, how you doing? I'm doing fine. He knew I wasn't.
Mm. Yeah. He was a good guy.
He held up a copy of Catcher in the Rye. Have you read this book? No. Slid it across his desk. Do me a favor, Mark. Read this book. You might find yourself in it.
Really? Really? Wow.
And like 20 million people, I did.
Wow.
What a guy.
He was awesome. He was a friend of the family. He would just, because he was a friend of Roper's. And so he would just show up at my parents'. You know, he'd be sitting around.
I'd be embarrassed if a teacher came into my house. Whoa.
He was like
cool.
He would just show up. My mom, you know, Italian. Sure, we got food. Sit down, have dinner. So he would just show up, have dinner, talk. You know, the trouble with that is I couldn't get away with shit.
Yes. Yeah.
He would come home. He would come to the house, have dinner, and then.
You know what Richard and Linda Waters were doing behind the bandstand on Friday night? I believe that's called a mortal sin. Yeah, really.
Oh yeah, Linda Waters. So I'm single.
Yeah.
Taking bids.
This is your dating guide.
Well, you look back. If I look back on my life, going, you know, what if these certain intersections?
There's a lot of those, and we all have them. And I hate to be trite, but at the end of the day, I hate that saying, but at the end of the day, we got here because of what the paths we chose, and it's not so bad.
Yeah.